Independent Radio, The Point. There's a new duet with Robert Plant that is Bluebirds Over the Mountain with Chrissie Hynde from the latest album. How did you come to work with Chrissie Hynde?
Well, nobody's a stranger in this game. I mean, even if you don't know somebody, you know what they do. And Chrissie and I had crossed paths several times in the last 20 years or so. And again, the song I think it's such a cool song. I've been singing it since I was a kid. I find it's kind of got a plaintive mood, something about if all one's dreams ever came through and they came to fruition, and bluebirds over the mountain, seagulls over the sea, bring my baby back. Anything. It's a charm, a spell, I want my baby back type of thing. So it's a very nice 50s, early rockabilly pop song. And it's kind of got a kind of lonesome thing to it that needed a woman to counter-sing, to counterpoint it, to bring in the kind of... so it was great to call Chrissie, and I sent her the track with me singing the whole lot. And she sent me back a very interesting and excited response with a lot of expletives going, this is the way to go. Why don't we do this thing forever like this music?
That sounds like Chrissie.
Yeah, it's a sexy track, and she's right in the middle of it, cooking.
There's something different about her voice. She's a great singer, and I'm a huge fan of her work. But like you, I get the feeling that she's sort of self-taught and making it up as she goes. And sometimes that results in brilliant work. And in the case of her career and yours, I think that's definitely the way it's turned out. Now, I've been working on this theory about you personally, Robert, because people know you, and maybe they didn't listen to Led Zeppelin albums, but they know you best as the, quote, great golden rock god. But I don't think that's really you. I think you're really a sensitive hippie peacenik hiding behind the rock star front. Which, makes sense, because people like me just geek out as soon as we get anywhere near you, even if it's just on the phone from 6,000 miles away. But anyway, to back up my theory, I want to play this song, New World, from your latest album, Carry Fire. Tell me about writing the lyrics on New World.
Yeah, well, I was living in Texas, and I was very aware of the fact that Texas is sort of occupied, Mexico, whatever it is, occupied Hispanic. It's a meld between Europeans and Hispanic people, and a degree of African American culture in there too. But the actual original occupants had all been moved up to the Panhandle into Fort Sill, Oklahoma, when they moved all the Comanches out. After the Civil War, somebody invented an automatic machine gun that finished the great Comancheria, the great lands of the hunter-gatherer. And so I found that when I was living there, I was really interested in seeing how people would naturally prefer to maintain their life and their culture the way it had been for thousands of years, rather than get on board and sign a few very dubious treaties and stuff like that. So I was really studying what came before the European, and there's an amazing book written by a guy from Austin called The Empire of the Summer Moon, and I read that and I was transfixed, and I found myself ultimately moving through slightly as a voyeur, but, peace-loving, peacenik, whatever it was, I don't know. Everywhere you go, you see dilemma, and because I'm sort of British, I guess, I'm coming in after 3 or 4 generations after most people that were around me in Texas and around, and I ended up in South Dakota, in various places there, and I've just more and more realized that there was a huge amount of injustice that had not been addressed, and it was such an embarrassment, I think, for so many people that it almost becomes like a slightly something to be avoided, even thinking about. The whole deal of the song kind of just talks about how it all kicked off, how it started with good intentions, and then suddenly somebody had to move out of the way.
Well, I started this interview by talking about how I thought you were still musically interested, and you've proven to me that really you're just interested in the world around you. I mean, it seems like you have an unquenchable thirst, and it's beautiful the way that you're expressing this back in your music and reflecting so many influences. Thank you so much for your time today, Robert Plant. We'll go out with a track from the new album, Carry Fire. This is New World on The Point. World.